Good morning. Time now for some quick headlines. Violence in Chicago showing no signs of slowing down. This weekend alone, at least 3 are dead and 16 wounded in shootings throughout the city. Latest numbers on record show more than 1,900 people have been shot in the Windy City this year. Unbelievable. And 7 people are thrown into handcuffs following a heated protest over a torn down Confederate statue.
Stand up like that! What are we doing? Stand up like that! What do we do? Stand up like that! What do we do? Stand up.
Demonstrators at the University of North Carolina clashing over Silent Sam, a 105-year-old monument toppled during a rally. None of the suspected arrested are affiliated with the school. The charges include assault and resisting arrest. The statue will be put back up due to state law. And finally, superdelegates will no longer have the power to vote for the Democratic presidential nominee. In a historic move, the DNC voting to limit their power. Starting in 2020, superdelegates will not be allowed to vote on the first ballot at a national convention. It comes after Bernie Sanders supporters accused the DNC of stacking superdelegates in Hillary Clinton's favor.
All right. Past presidents remembering Senator John McCain.
Former President George W. Bush releasing a statement reading, quote, "Some lives are so vivid it is difficult to imagine them ended. John McCain was a man of deep conviction and a patriot of the highest order. He was a public servant in the finest traditions of our country."
Dana Perino, of course, served as White House press secretary for President Bush and is the host of the Daily Briefing, co-host of The Five. She joins us now live. Dana, we appreciate you coming in on Sunday morning. And what I'm struck by in that statement from President Bush, among other things, is these guys had a spirited debate, to say the least, in 2000, and there were some bitter moments there. But it seems to me, and you saw it up close, both of these men got past that and tried to work together.
I do think that one of the most important things I learned in Washington, D.C. was the power of forgiveness, especially in politics. So President Bush and McCain certainly fought bitterly, right, and all the way down South Carolina primary. Mm-hmm. And like terrible things were said, not directly man to man, but by their supporters and in the media, and certainly there were ads that were run. And I think that's amazing that people can get past that and then work together on policies and issues like the tax cuts of 2001, certainly after 9/11. And John McCain became somebody that President Bush would turn to often for his support and for his advice, his consultation, and to help get things through the Congress. And remember this, Ed, John McCain traveled tirelessly when he was well. When they had recess, he didn't go on vacation. Mm-hmm. He went to visit the troops all over the world. Just an absolutely tireless advocate for that. And so I do think that forgiveness in politics is important because it allows others to move on, including their staff. So if the leaders can forgive each other, that means the staffs can work together.
That's such a great point, Dana. You talked about the power of forgiveness, but also the power of humility. I think in his final speech to the Senate, he readily admitted that his personality, his feistiness, his impulsiveness sometimes got in the way of bipartisanship or made it difficult to come together. But yet he called on the Senate to make that their priority, to cooperate and work across the aisle.
A young man that used to work for me one time basically had his head bitten off by Senator McCain, and he never forgot it, but he certainly respected the senator because he had this way of never being dismissed. He was a wonderful patriot, and I'm honored to have known him, and I wish his family the best.
We appreciate your time. You're right. More Fox and Friends coming up.